Hello friends, it's Dave here from SaveDex.
And I'm Sophie.
And we're welcome back to another edition of Demo Talk, where we take 3 demos of upcoming Nintendo Switch games and we play each one for half an hour, and then we bring you our thoughts of what we think of these games based purely on half an hour gameplay of the demo. So the 3 games we've been playing today are called Greak Memories of Azur, Shadowverse Champions Battle, and then the Sega Mega Drive Picross.
Real variety of game styles.
So the first game that we play today, Greak Memories of Azur, it is coming out on the 17th of August 2021, and it is costing £15.99, which is a price that we see quite often on the eShop for upcoming indie games, and for what this game looks like, it seemed like a fair price for the quality you're getting just on first glance. But now that we've actually played this demo, do you think this is going to be worth that price?
From playing the demo, I think maybe yes.
The quality of game we've got here seems very, very good. So what is this game then?
So it's like a 2D platformer, puzzler.
Yeah, I'd go with that, yeah.
2D puzzle platformer.
And there's sort of fighting as well in it with enemies.
Yeah.
And you take control of Greek, who's your sort of main character, but he has a brother and a sister that you have to go rescue. The sister you get quite early on, we got her in the demo, Adara, and they kind of reminded me of Link and Zelda. And when you unlocked her, you could play as her, and on the D-pad you press left to select Greek and right to select Adara. And Greek, who is the Link style character, has a sword and a bow and arrow, and Adara uses her magic. There is a third sibling who we didn't get to in the demo. I'm guessing is much later in the game. And I'm noticing on the cover art that he has a shield, but his name is Raidel. And you basically use their different abilities to get through things. So although Greek can double jump and wall climb as well, Adara has sort of like a Princess Peach style float.
Yeah.
A lot of the time it seemed to be they could both get to places.
Yeah.
There wasn't any places exclusive to one. It just depended which one you wanted the players to go into a certain area. But there were times where you'd have to have one stand on the switch to open the door while the other one went through. And then you stand on the switch the other side and then the other character goes through. And it's kind of a shame that this is just a single player game.
Yeah, I felt like it would be quite cool to do 2-player.
And there are a few quality of life things on that though. If you hold ZR, then the character you're not playing as will come to you.
Yes, that was really good. And you could press ZL and run along with your character and attack and jump at the same time.
Yeah, the only thing I noticed there was because Greek can do a double jump, whereas Adala does a floaty, like Princess Peach, as I said, although she can ascend while doing that. I did find that she would get left behind when I'm double jumping up somewhere, so you would have to switch between them still. But for the basic running to the next point, then that is such a good feature. You just have to hold one button and then they'd both go there as well. And very, very interesting. What did you think of the presentation?
So it's beautiful. It's hand drawn. You can see it is when you're running along, the animation of the hair fluffing as they're running. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
The environments are quite dark. I saw what I saw anyway.
From this demo. You're sort of in a dungeon area.
Maybe you get to lighter areas once you get out.
So it sort of started out in the day, but then you quickly went down underneath. But then the music was sort of on and off, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It went for atmosphere, I think. There were times where the action was quieter, so the music would stop for a bit, and then it was very atmospheric. It was quite epic at times.
When you were low on health, it was suddenly very muffled.
Yeah, sort of distorted, which again sort of added to the tension, I'd say. So yeah, you do have health bars as you'd expect, and at one point, if you pick up an item, such as I got an elixir at one point, which gave you some health back, but because Greek had the health potion, Adala couldn't use it. It was only the person who has it that can use it.
Adara.
Yeah, I know I said the wrong name. So there is that. So the items you pick up are not universal. So I could find out. Maybe you can hand them over, but you have limited things you can pick up. If one person has their inventory full, then you can obviously get the second person to go pick up that particular item.
Yeah.
And there's sort of like a puzzly aspect to it. You get to a certain room, we had to find 2 gears, so we had to explore that area to find them both, like one at a time. And that brought up your problem with this game.
Yeah, so you know how much I love maps. There was no map in this.
No.
Which means there's sort of like exploring to do. Although it is kind of linear in a sense that, you know, there's only a limited amount of places that you can go.
Yeah, like I was fully expecting this to be a Metroidvania, just from looking at it. But it does seem linear, sort of like a puzzle platformer. And it wasn't sort of like you get new abilities and you can go back sort of thing. So a map's not needed. It is just this room, this room, this room. But when you get to a room, you have to explore it to find it around. But one handy thing they've done is if you use the right stick, you can move the camera around to see around you.
Yeah, I like that too.
So as I said, it comes out on the 17th of August. It is just a single player game. It's 1.6 gigabytes, which isn't that much, so that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And 16 quid. And for that, I'm actually very interested in this based on this demo.
Me too.
Cool, so let's move on to our next game. Okay, so next up is Shadowverse Champions Battle. Now, you're the one that played this. What did you think of it?
So it took me a long time to actually get to play the game because it's mainly cutscene and talking and accepting agreements.
I'll say right now, we usually, as I said at the beginning, we play each demo for half an hour. We actually played this one for 40 minutes because of how long it took to actually get into the gameplay.
Yeah. So when you start, you're a transfer student and you're going to a new school and you make friends with Hero and 2 other people, we've forgotten their names. And they introduce you to this game called Shadowverse, which in effect is a card game, but
Yeah.
it's on a mobile phone.
Yeah, I was looking up this, as you were playing, I was looking up this series actually. So from what I understand, it started out as a phone game like several years ago, a digital card collecting battle game, and now there's an anime adaptation of it. And this game here is based on the anime. It came out on mobile last month, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming to the Switch on the 10th of August, and it's going to be costing £44.99.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a high-end price for this game. And so let's talk more. So it has very anime-style cutscenes and the dialogue. It's very much an anime adaptation as a game. So it took a while before we actually played the game. So what is your understanding of the actual game itself?
So card game, it's a sort of duel. So you get a certain amount of play points and you use them to use cards and then you can attack. But you have to play some of those play points to put cards down, so sometimes you might not be able to attack. And then there's different types of cards. So there's like shield cards. I don't know the actual
terminology
names for them because I'm new to this. But what I can say is that what I played so far wasn't terrible.
No.
It was overwhelming, but not terrible.
Yeah, there's a lot to get the hang of. It's like the character's sort of like telling you things.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of felt like the more he was explaining to us, the less I knew.
Yeah.
Like it was more confusing me. But how I understood how the game worked was through when you were playing.
Yes.
And I was watching, just playing without it being explained. We were working out the rules as we went that way.
Yeah.
And obviously it's nice to have the rules explained to us, but when you have so much said to you before you've actually done anything, I learn by doing,
Mm-hmm.
not by being told.
Definitely.
You
And
know.
like, I think with more time with this game, I will be able to, or even so, more time with this demo, I might enjoy it a bit more.
Yeah, so given its price, I'm imagining that the game is quite expansive.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be a lot in it, and obviously the cards and the characters on them are very interesting.
Definitely.
There's a lot of stuff to get into there.
And there's also online multiplayer. Isn't
Yeah,
there?
you can play it local and online multiplayer up to 2 people, which is pretty cool. It seems like the type of game that'd be fun to play.
Absolutely.
I don't know if there's actually real physical cards you can buy and play it physically. I imagine if not officially, then fans have made them, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But one really good thing here is the save data from the demo can get transferred over to the main game when you buy it.
Yeah.
It's a hard ask though for that price. It's a full price, almost release. And I mean, obviously, I don't know how much we get into it, but obviously, there's a lot more to the demo, it seems, than what we've played.
Yeah.
And again, we say it took over half an hour for us to actually understand what we were doing. And,
maybe the storyline like develops more as you go. Maybe that's part of it as well. And it's like a 3D world, like Pokemon.
Yeah, you can run around, but it's very much like very small areas, and you run to a loading zone to the next one. So it's not like a big open world. It's like go along this corridor. Now it's loading to the next room, like that. But still, you can explore a bit. Not bad.
Yeah.
So so that's what we thought of that game. Let's move on to our final demo of the video, and that demo is for Picross S Mega Drive and Master System Edition. Catchiest name ever.
Yeah.
To think about what do we think of this game, is it worth buying based on this demo alone? Well, I can answer that question before we even played this demo. Yes, it absolutely is. I love Picross games.
Me too. I played the Zelda one, that was great.
Yeah, we got the Twilight Princess one on the 3DS, and that was your first experience of Picross.
It was, and then it spiraled into madness of Picross.
Yeah, my first experience was Mario's Picross on the Game Boy version, which I had on the 3DS Virtual Console. I absolutely loved it. I did a video on this channel teaching people how to play Picross based on that Super Nintendo one that's only in Japanese. And this game is very close. It comes out tomorrow as this video comes up, the Thursday the 5th of August. And it costs £8.99. So what Picross is, I won't explain how it works now, it'll take too long. But you've basically got a grid and you've got to make a picture, and the numbers in the rows and columns tells you how many tiles to chip away in that column or row. And you basically do that. You have to work out based on the rows and columns together what possibilities there are. They get more complex as you go along, and you make a picture, and these pictures are all based on Mega Drive and Master System games from Sega, as you can guess by the title. Things like Sonic stuff, Shinobi, Golden Axe, we're seeing stuff like that. So there's 300 Picross puzzles in here, which is like insanely good value. It's like 3p per puzzle there. But with the extra modes in this, there's 480 puzzles, it says. You got like the Mega Picross, which gives you a different way of doing Picross. There's Clip Picross, which instead of making a picture, it makes a part of a picture.
Nice.
And you have to like do loads of different pictures to make a big one. And then there's Colour Picross, which I've never seen before.
I have in I can't remember the names game, but it's something Prophecy, Nofograms. Anyway, it was an indie game, kind of like Picross.
Okay, cool. So that's basically where instead of it being just you have this number, a gap, then another number, it's like you have this colour, how many of that colour, then how many of that colour, and there might be gaps, there might not be. So it's a different way to do it. So yeah, basically. There are tutorials on this, so the whole it being in Japanese from the Super Nintendo version won't be a hindrance here because it is in English for English-speaking people, so that's very good. I'm sure it's in plenty of other languages as well.
They have a hint roulette as well.
Yeah, hint roulette, which gives you things. So the only thing I noticed that I didn't like about this game compared to the older Picross games I've played is in those you have a time limit, and if you make mistakes, time gets taken off you quicker.
Yeah.
But even if they're ones where the time goes up, if you make a mistake, the time gets jumped up, so you go for a best time.
Sure.
On this one, I was doing it recklessly on purpose to test. There doesn't seem to be any punishment for getting it wrong, which means you could just keep pressing aimlessly until you get told what ones are right.
Oh, I see.
Like if you press the wrong one, just an X appears there to say actually that was wrong, there's not one there. So that is something, as there was one I had on the DS as well, or 3DS, where it was like that, where if you made a mistake there was no punishment, so where's the challenge? You can just guess your way to victory. But I suppose you have to sort of self-police yourself there, like to make sure if you make a mistake, I would restart personally because I want to do it. And one thing that is a bit disappointing is it says on the shop listings that there is no touchscreen support for this game.
Which is so strange because it would be perfect.
Yeah, so it's just a shame. But overall though, it's Picross, it's brilliant. It's got a Sega theme to it and the music sounds very Sega-y.
And I
So-
did one, didn't I? And it was animated afterwards once you've done it.
Yeah, they are animated, so I love the aesthetics to it. I love the music. I love the gameplay of Picross itself. I would like to do a video on this when it comes out.
Holy
So-
cow, it's $8.99.
Yeah, $8.99, very cheap. So, you're looking at about, again, just over 2p per puzzle, basically.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah. So those were the 3 demos we played. What was your favourite demo of the 3?
I love Picross, I'm biased. So out of the 2, I'd say I enjoyed Greek a lot more. I'm open to Shadowverse.
Yeah, I would go in that order. Picross first, then Greek, then Shadowverse. I'm not so interested in that one. But Greek was a surprise for me. I didn't know what to expect from it, and I really enjoyed it. So there is that. So what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. If you're looking forward to these games coming out, they're all very close to release. Whether you've tried the demos or not, while you're down there, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you in the next one.
Goodbye.